A Roomba with a self-emptying dock and LiDAR mapping sells for closer to $900. This robot vacuum, the Neabot Nomo Q11, with the same self-emptying dock and the same LiDAR mapping, sells for around $500. The dock is not radically different. The sensor is not radically different. What's different is the marketing budget stacked on top of one of them. 5 cheap robot vacuum brands are quietly backed by real manufacturing muscle. OEM factories that built appliances for names you already trust. Billion-dollar robotics funding. In one case, the same R&D arm that builds humanoid robots for Apple's retail floors, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which 5, and exactly what layer of cost each one figured out how to cut. And for context, brands like Roborock, Ecovacs, and Dreame have already proven that Chinese-engineered vacuums can compete at the top of the market. These 5 are the ones doing it at the bottom of the price chart. Here's the thing nobody tells you about the vacuum aisle: the suction motor, the battery cell, the LiDAR sensor. Those parts come from a small pool of the same component suppliers in China, regardless of whose logo ends up on the shell. What actually separates a $400 vacuum from a $100 one is everything bolted onto that shared hardware afterward. The ad campaign, the celebrity unboxing video, the retail floor space at Best Buy, the app subscription upsell. The 5 brands on this list are the ones that quietly decided to skip most of that and let the hardware speak for itself. And it's worth noting, Amazon's attempted acquisition of iRobot collapsed in early 2024 under regulatory pressure. A reminder that even the most established names in this space are navigating a market that's shifting fast, and the brands that built quietly are positioned better than anyone expected. Number 1. Eufy. Eufy is not an independent vacuum company. It's a division of Anker Innovations, founded in September 2011 by Stephen Yang, a former Google engineer, out of Shenzhen. Anker spent its first few years doing one unglamorous thing extremely well: replacement laptop batteries and phone chargers, the kind of accessory business that lives or dies on quality control because a bad charger burns down a house. That obsession with reliable, boring engineering is what got redirected into Eufy when Anker launched the brand in 2016. By 2023, Anker's smart home segment, the division Eufy sits inside, was pulling in around $250 million a year, with a chunk of that reinvested straight back into research and development instead of a Super Bowl ad slot. The RoboVac G20 Hybrid runs a Z-pattern smart dynamic navigation route using SLAM navigation instead of the random bumper car pattern budget bots default to, pulls 2,500 pascals of suction, sits at 55 decibels, and still talks to Alexa and Google Assistant. A Roomba with comparable mapping and voice control costs close to double. The difference isn't the motor, it's that Anker made its real profit margin on power banks years ago, and Eufy gets to compete on price instead of clawing back a marketing budget. Number 2. Airrobo. This is the one that sounds fake until you check it. Airrobo is a smart home brand under UBTECH Robotics, a Shenzhen company founded in 2012 by James Zhou, funded by Tencent at a $5 billion valuation, whose humanoid robots have been sold on the floor of actual Apple stores and built stormtrooper units in partnership with Disney. That's the company quietly backing a robot vacuum that often sells for under $100. The P20 runs 2,800 pascals of suction in a body 3 inches tall, thin enough to disappear under a couch, with a floating scraper strip that digs fine dust out of tile grout lines, a feature that sounds invented until you watch it happen. No Alexa, no Google Assistant, 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi only. It skipped the smart home ecosystem tax entirely, old-fashioned on purpose. You're buying the leftover R&D discipline of a humanoid robotics company wrapped around a floor cleaning motor for less than a Roomba's replacement filter costs. Number 3. Proscenic. Before Proscenic existed as a consumer brand, the company behind it, founded in Shenzhen in the late 1990s, spent over a decade as an OEM and ODM manufacturer, building appliances that shipped under the Panasonic, Hitachi, Zojirushi, and Philips names. In 2013, they finally put their own logo on the box. The 850T vacuums and mops simultaneously across 4 cleaning modes in a slim body that ducks under low furniture. Reviewers note the suction dips under heavy load, which is a real limit, not a scandal. It's a starter mopping bot priced like one. The sister brand under the same parent company, UBTECH, later won a German Red Dot Award for a self-emptying model. That's not a hobbyist operation guessing at plastic molds. That's the same manufacturing floor that used to build Philips appliances, minus the markup Philips charges for the name. Before we go further, here's how to actually tell if a cheap bot is cutting corners or just cutting marketing. Check the suction figure against the price. Anything under 1,500 pascals for under $100 is usually a genuine compromise, but 2,000 pascals and up at that price means the company is eating margin somewhere other than the motor. Check whether the brand has an actual parent company or manufacturing history behind it, the way all 5 on this list do. A brand with 0 public footprint before last year is a different risk profile than one with a decade of OEM work. And check the return window rather than the star rating, because a company confident in its hardware gives you 30 days to find out for yourself. Number 4, ILIFE. Founded in Shenzhen in 2010, ILIFE now runs over 300 engineers and holds more than 100 patents on core cleaning technology, plus a Red Dot Design Award and an IFA Innovation Award most owners have never heard of. They even shipped the first robot vacuum on the market, rated at 20,000 pascals of suction, aimed at large commercial spaces. None of that shows up in a 30-second ad. Tom's Guide tested the V5S Pro, around $179, and called it quiet, gentle around furniture, and the best-looking budget bot they tried. Shaped like a beetle, and once you notice that you can't unsee it. No app, no mapping, no drama. You press the button, it cleans, it goes home. The company's cheaper model, the V3S Pro, reportedly vacuums even better than its pricier sibling. The kind of thing that never happens at the brands where the $400 model is quietly worse than the $600 one just to make you upgrade. Dyson charges 4 times the price for the premium suction experience. ILIFE charges you for the suction and leaves out the invoice for the name. Number 5. Neabot. Founded in Shenzhen in 2018 by Minming Gu, Neabot didn't launch its flagship with a Best Buy end cap and a celebrity spokesperson. It launched the Nomo Q11 as an Indiegogo campaign that got backed at 1,000% of its funding goal before it ever touched a store shelf, funded directly by the people who wanted to own one, not by a retail buyer betting on shelf space. It hides a LiDAR sensor inside its shell, uses SLAM navigation to build a real-time map of your floor plan, self-empties into a 2.5-liter bin so you're not touching dust for a month at a time, and runs at up to 4,000 pascals. Reviewers have called that suction figure among the strongest they've tested, self-emptying dock included. It looks like a tiny retro spaceship parked in your kitchen, and it earned that self-emptying feature at a price the big 3 still treat as a premium tier upgrade. The pattern connecting all 5 is where the money actually went, instead of into your feed as an ad. Eufy skipped the markup because its parent company already made its margin on chargers. Airrobo is running humanoid-robotics R&D on a floor cleaning budget. Proscenic spent a decade building other people's appliances before it ever sold its own. ILIFE put its money into 300 engineers and its own patents instead of a campaign. Neabot skipped the retail markup entirely by asking customers to fund it directly instead of a bank or a big box buyer. None of them bought their way onto your radar. They earned a spot on it the same way that Neabot in my kitchen earned its spot. by outperforming the vacuum that cost twice as much and advertised 10 times harder. If you missed the video on the 5 robot vacuum brands that are actually robbing you blind, it's linked below. Drop the brand you already own in the comments.